Hello! We've all had thoughts like, I want to be fitter, faster at something, whatever it is that you're trying to change about yourself. But when it comes to actually doing it, we're met with this friction. The person who wanted this change is now being worn down and their motivation is being tested. If you're here, then you're familiar with the cycle. The novelty of the experience and results get you through the first few times, but then things start to waver. You find yourself trying to do anything but work towards your newly set out goal. So what can we do about it? I found something that helps me introduce new behaviors into my regular routine. When trying to cement change, there are 3 different experiences that make up the routine or the loop. And if we're better able to align the perspectives between the 3 different experiences, it'll allow us to understand and adapt our process to make sure that we keep at it and we don't drop. Because that's ultimately it. For most of these changes people aim for, all you need to do is not quit. It's easier said than done, but hopefully this helps. So the 3 perspectives are your future perspective, your present perspective, and your past perspective. The future perspective is the experience of looking forwards, setting targets, expectations, and plans. The present perspective is the experience of implementing the plans that you just set. And the past perspective is the experience of looking back and reflecting on the expectations that you had. Even though these are experienced by the same person, they tend to be misaligned, more than you would think. The first goal is to make sure that they're as aligned as possible, and this will make sure that you're setting the right plans and will help you get through the required practices, even if they may be difficult. So let's walk through it. Step 1, you need to succeed at your plan. So set a plan that you think you can't fail at, a plan that you think is too easy. Now make it lower and do it one more time. And the main reason is usually the future perspective is overly optimistic or excited and disillusioned to the difficulty of actually accomplishing the task in your life as it currently stands. This first task will calibrate the future perspective, and you should set this task for 1 week. Step 2, with your plan set, you need to implement it. Every implementation is experienced by your present perspective. What the practice that you actually need to keep up doing feels like in the moment, which is usually not the part that the future self thinks about. Usually the future self focuses on the outcome, while the present perspective has to deal with the means of getting to that outcome. While you're practicing the plan set by your future perspective, reflect on how you thought it was going to be and compare that to how you're feeling in the moment. This will help calibrate your future perspective to your present perspective. Notice if you thought that it would be much easier than you thought for you. And notice how resistant you might be feeling to actually working through the plan. You can use this understanding to help set better plans in the future, and you're hopefully getting clarity on key factors that your future perspective might have completely skipped on or under-attributed for. Now on to step 3. After a few sessions of the implementation, the present perspective, 1 week later, you're done with your plan. Reflect on how you feel, having implemented your set plan for 1 week. Does it line up with the expectations you had at the start of the week? Reflect on the plan that you set, the expectations you had on how it would make you feel, the practice of actually doing it, and how you feel now at the end of the week. And with those 3 perspectives clear in your mind, it's time to do it again. How will you plan your next week with all these clear in your head? Notice how different today feels to last week. This gradual reflection and recalibration will keep all parts of the process happy and will also better inform them. For example, if say you're in the middle of a workout, remembering the past perspective will motivate you because you know how good it might feel at the end of the week. Or when you're planning, you know that planning to run at 5 a.m. every day in the morning because it seems to be what everyone's doing is ultimately setting yourself up to fail and feel defeated because it doesn't work with your lifestyle. Because some nights you don't sleep well, some nights you might be busy with work, and that means instead of an improvement to your lifestyle, you're actually just depriving yourself of sleep, and that this ultimately won't be a sustainable way for you to become fitter, which is the actual goal. And speaking of goals, starting with the goal at a level lower than you would set for yourself normally, not only will you realize that you're likely still overshooting what you could reasonably accomplish, that's very common, but also you don't start your experience by failing. You start by succeeding. And then you slowly build up from there. It's a much more enjoyable experience. I'll close with a quick example to just seal this concept in. Step 1. I want to run every day this week for 1 hour. No, lower. Okay, 3 times for 1 hour. No, even lower. Okay, 3 times this week for 30 minutes each. Great. Step 2. I finished my first session. That was easy. Session 2. Oh, what's this? My body aches. I guess I won't run today. Next day, I'm ready to go for a run. I get a call. Work needs me to finish something. Okay, skip that day. Next day, let me wake up early to run before work, since I missed it yesterday. That was unpleasant. Don't think I'll do that again. Next day, I run in the evening. That was much more enjoyable for me. I think I'm going to do more of that. Step 3, I'm at the end of the week. I feel good. I feel like I have more energy, even during the day. Even on the days I don't run. Looking at the week ahead, I bring all these feelings together. Do I want to feel like I'm feeling today at the end of next week? Yes. Was this a good target? Yeah, 3 days a week isn't as little as I thought, and with, unexpected things coming up and realizing that I actually need some rest days because of my body aches, I'm going to stick to 3 days a week. And now, I've set a new plan for this week. But instead of thinking I'm setting an easy target like I did last week, I have strong, experience-backed references of what it was actually like for me to perform those tasks. Not what I read on the internet, not how my friend was doing it, or not how I should be feeling, but how I actually feel. And I've now calibrated my expectations accordingly. And that's it. This continuous reflection and recalibration is the heart of it. If you can get all 3 perspectives aligned, that should keep you on track week after week. And that sums it up. Hope this is something you can use. It's helped me before, so if you give it a shot and you end up back here, please feel free to leave a comment telling us about it. Thanks. See you.